Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's cool at the minute. Yeah, I think at the minute it works for the time being. Okay. What about YouTube thing? Okay, that should be fine. That should be fine. I'm not gonna check now the. I'm not gonna check the Twitch and the Kick.com on things, so I'm assuming it works. I've checked on Facebook and I did the YouTube check and seems to be fine. So as we said, now what is interesting is that Magnus actually does play Dingley Ren in a classical type of chess. So I think all the chess enthusiasts wanted to actually see these two playing, and we do have this opportunity now due to the Norway chess organized chess event. We actually do see them playing within this event. That is very, very exciting, and yeah, and wow, at least 4 hours of chess. Again, I'm not sure I'll be able to just cover the full extent of the Norway chess the first round today. Anyway, I'll just try to explain as much as I can understand from what they play, and in this Catalan thing. Now we need to look for developing our pieces. So I guess knight c3 should be happening at some point. Rook fe1, another move available here for white. What else have we gotten? This guy might be playing as well. I'm not playing the Catalan myself, so but you know I'm just looking for the moves that seems to be natural, effective, and playable here. So yeah, and knight might be playing on e5. So all these moves are to be considered here by Dingley Ren, and I'm pretty sure he is fully booked and he knows exactly what he needs to play. So from White's perspective, we're looking at the. Of course, it could be some b3. Could it be some b3? Mm. Mm-hmm. Could it be some b3, bishop b2, and things? So you're rooting for someone in particular, like Ding Liren or Nakamura. We got 6 Super Grandmasters. You sound like another user that normally visits every now and then, and they start with these quotations as soon as they log in. Okay. Right. Very positional. Very positional here. Nothing had been traded for the time being. It is Ding Luren's turn, and he has got a lot of time available. 1 minute 50 something seconds. That's a lot of time available for them. So you know, because they introduced a new feature here. So if I click, let me see if you actually guys can see it. Oh yeah, can you? Yeah. Okay, there is a button here that says event. So when you click on that one, they display the other games. So you actually can visit them without going backwards with the left arrow and leaving the screen and stuff. So now this is Magnus Carlsen Dingliran. Oh, okay, let's put it Dingliran Magnus Carlsen. And if I left click on this one, I'm actually moving instantaneously to Prague and Alireza. So actually we could do this switching, and voila, you're actually getting the game exactly right in front of you without having to leaving the page. I think that's a new feature if I understood this one correctly. Right, so no trades here with the Fabi and Hikaru. But in the Prague and Alireza, they did do some tradings, some trades. Rook to c8, rook to c8 on the same file with the white queen. So you better be careful of that white queen. You either move the white queen away, or I don't know what else. Probably you gotta move the queen away. So now, guys, you can tell me where would you personally move the queen? What do you think about this one? What do you think about queen to h4? Or maybe you just want to go on the D file, but then you might be subjecting yourself to some knight attacks, so you got to be careful about that one as well. I don't know if that's still theory. By the way, it's still Catalan opening closed happening today. It is Prague playing Catalan against Alireza and Dingleren playing Catalan versus Magnus Carlsen. No, you don't have to. But personally, I'd seriously consider moving queen and then bishop if I'm given a chance. Thanks very much for the idea, Tims. So I would really look into queen h4 and bishop g5. Um, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you don't have to, as you said. Maybe you could play rook fd1. No, you don't have to at the minute, but as soon as the knight moves, you will have to. You will have to for sure. Yep. Rook fd could be an idea as well. And it could be some others. It could be bishop g5, queen to h4, rook fd1. There you go. There you go. Queen to h4. There you go. Well, I'm satisfied that actually Prague went with the move I had suggested. Yeah. So if Pragnananda played Queen H4 as I had highlighted, I'm absolutely happy with this. That means he concluded similarly. Now, Alireza, I don't know. H6 doesn't seem very safe to be played. Even if you were to push this, I guess we could do all sorts of crazy tactics here. So I'm not sure h6 and g5 can really be considered here for black. If you do e5, the only thing you achieve is like opening up the bishop, colluding with the knight, maybe. But let me give you another idea. There is something floating here. There is something like queen g5. So how do you deal with that? There is a lot of pressure on the king side for black here. So really, I think black has to tread very carefully now. D4. I guess you could. I guess you kind of could. But I think it's not a problem necessarily for white, right? If you castle here with black, you gotta be very, very committed, and I suspect you had calculated before that, because if you castle, you definitely, Tims, you definitely commit to keeping the king exactly what the white queen and the bishop aim at. So you gotta be very careful with the short castling. It is playable. I guess it is playable. You gotta be careful about this kind of stuff. And you do not have a bishop to play on e7 because your bishop is on b6. So you got to be careful of that. I think white wants to play bishop g5 here rather than playing some hazardous stuff in the middle of the board. So I guess white is more likely to focus on getting a bishop on g5 and a rook f to d. Really, that's more important, I guess. Black, I don't know what black's gonna do. You have to think this through very carefully. I think you would like to trade off things. Yeah. So, Tims, that's a wonderful opportunity for all the chess enthusiasts out there. You actually see Magnus Carlsen playing classical chess. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine this? Difficult position there for black being Alireza. This one here, let's see, what did just happen? Nothing happened. So thank you for following Aaron. I don't know what platform is that. I mean, I've got like four platforms, five. I don't know if it's kick.com, if it's Facebook, if it's YouTube or Twitch, but nevertheless, I do appreciate my friend. So c6 was the last move that black played here. Again, very positional, and these are the yellow lines that I highlighted like when? 5 minutes ago or something? And Dingley Ren takes his time. Really does take his time here. That's what I would consider playing with white if I were to do this position here. Including b3. Okay. I also love the knight c3. I think these are theoretical moves. So if you will ask the opening archives and things, you will totally get these moves. Probably all these moves you're gonna find them in the opening theory. So exactly, being move number 6 in this Catalan, probably Dingler now, just tries to choose a line that it's favorable for white. I really, really want to see how he's playing against Magnus. Hey guys, and Magnus said right in an interview that he no longer wants to play classical chess, right? So what do you think made him change his mind? I know it's Norway chess is his natural country, right? Of course we can, totally. I mean, we got just 3 games. So let me go now nicely. Okay, Queen C2 played by Ding Liren, just to update you guys. Now let's go quickly here. Well, maybe not that quickly. So Bishop F5, okay, let me see the moves that have been played. Those guys were quite faster. Okay, let me just go just a couple of moves back. Okay, Bishop B5, Bishop E6 developing, A4 cementing that bishop. Interesting, Knight BD7, Knight C4. Knight C4, let me tell you something, Knight C4 because actually wants to remove this super active bishop, I guess. F5 being played here by Hikaru. I think Hikaru wants to open up the F file. I mean, it's the logical thing. As soon as Knight plays from F6 over to D7, they actually want to push the F pawn. Takes by Fabi and takes with the bishop. Spanish. Well, Gioco Piano, Italian. Sorry, I didn't understand the question. That's the Italian game they played. Bishop C4 is the Italian game always. Yes, indeed. Spot on, my friend. I would seriously look to remove this bishop on b6. It's one of those guys that really makes me uncomfortable, the bishop. So if I'm given an opportunity to removing the active bishop from my opponent, I think I would just take it. I would take this guy. Of course, they take back with the knight, right? Still, a bishop being taken now, I think it's quite important. Quite important, and maybe you're gonna play some bishop e3, just develop. Depends what I take with and stuff. But definitely, I think you should be looking to exchange to trade off the bishop on b6. I totally would trade that bishop. I would trade him. I'm sure there are some other tactical, strategical ideas, definitely. I'm pretty sure. But as a human approach, and from experience, you would like to get those guys off the board as soon as you can because they're just too active and too dangerous. You could, exactly as I highlighted on a scrim, Tim. You could do bishop e3 now. Yeah, I think I would just take that guy. I would take on b6. I'm not sure if bishop e3 first or not, but you gotta take that. If you don't take it, they might go bishop a7. Yeah, okay. I would just take the bishop. That's Fabi's turn. Yeah. Take the bishop, then bishop e3. See what happens. There's no reason to allow that bishop to exist in the game. This guy is just... you're going to have massive headaches. Just look at this, guys. If you allow that bishop on b6 to exist, together with the rook on f8, you might be having some issues with the f2. Ah, I see. I'm not sure if it's settings on YouTube. I didn't remember to have placed any delay on seeing the messages on YouTube. I really don't know why is this delay. I think I need to revisit those settings. Apologies if it's my fault or if I did something, and but I really can't remember to have placed any delay. Yeah. So because there is a rook and because there is a bishop and they attacking on f2, I think you may want to get that bishop off. Sooner or later, you need to make that guy disappear. Unless there is some other tacticalities and I'm missing them, of course. All right, let's go back quickly to Dingley Wren here. So queen to c2, b6 played by Magnus, and I'm pretty sure Magnus wants to get the bishop to do something. Something like b7 or a6, you name it. And yeah, Dingley Wren plays bishop f4, developing the moves. These are theoretical, they're still within the theory, I'm pretty sure. So bishop f4 develops, bishop b7, exactly as I said. And I'm sure you guys knew that one as well. So bishop b7, that makes sense. As soon as the fianchetto being produced here, of course you're going to see a bishop. Of course you're going to see a bishop, bishop e7. Okay, I think it's time to get a knight in action. That could be knight c3, that could be knight bd2, you name it. I think knight bd2, just in case you may want to replace the c4 in if black were to take it. But hey, maybe he got a plan. Maybe there is knight c3, and if the pawn takes, anyway, you can jump on with the other guy. So yeah. If you're talking about online tournaments, we could definitely do at some point some online tournaments, definitely. If you're talking about physically, maybe over the summer I will be playing in a tournament, probably in an open. So I planned this over the summer, but not very often though. Not very often. They are very time consuming and giving my time to teaching at the clubs, and yeah. So that will be over the summer. Uh, Let me check. Was it? Is it on chess.com? I think I put it. It's 1752. Hold on a sec. What was that thing? Profile. What I put there? That's it. Stats or something. All stats. Check on my bio, because that one is just copy pasted. Check on my bio. There's a rapid I played last year in a tournament in a rapid. Oh, the ECF is ECF 17. The other one is 1571 or 72. I need to double check again. Check on my bio on chess.com. Where is that thing? Yeah, well. Okay, it should be somewhere. Okay. That is very good, Tim. So I played in London last year at Golders Green. You know that club? So I played the Rapid last year, and probably I'm going to play another one this summer. I plan to. So yeah. Rook FD. That's what the queen is. Never a bad idea. So he didn't develop the knight yet. Or anything. He played rook f to d. Very nice, very positional. Where the black queen is. If the black queen wants to step aside from the d file. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's alright, man. You just play whatever's closer to you, of course. Sorry, absolutely, not a problem. So if there is something organized in London, I would say probably I will play. And there are many chess events. But you know, time-wise, I think I'm freer in the summertime. So yeah, that's when I plan to go physically and do some tourneys, probably rapid. So knight b d7, knight b8 to d7 being played here. I think it's time for white to get a knight to do something. Maybe you want to develop. I would develop the knight. I would play the knight on b1 somewhere. Probably c3. You could definitely expect some. You could expect some rook 8 to c8. A little bit cramped, a little bit crowded. Plenty of pieces here. No trades, by the way, guys. This is move number 10. Okay. This is move number 10, and no trades had happened just yet. There's no trades here. Yeah, you still need to get those pieces out. Knight b1 to c3, and then perhaps a rook 8 to c. So that might be another idea. Just develop your guys and see what happens next. If there is any black pawn to capture, probably you could go knight here, but move number 9. That's quite within the theory, so to speak. Have they prepared the sideline or anything? Could be. Could be. Okay, let's go to Prague then, Alani Reza. Hey, what did we see here? Queen to h4, as I said, knight. He wants to trade. Of course he wants to trade. It's too much pressure on the king side for black. So Ali Reza is more than happy to trading now stuff. It's just too much pressure here. Way too much pressure. Is Prague going to trade? If you do this kind of stuff and f6 happens, you could go bishop d2, for instance. I think it's worth considering this idea. What do you think, guys? Honestly, what do you think about bishop g5 attacking the queen? They play f6. I guess you play f6, right? And then you play bishop d2. Then you play bishop d2. What do you think about this idea? Bishop g5, f6, bishop d2. Is it that bad? You know, enticing, making black to just pushing the pawns on the king side and exposing the king a bit more. I think I would attack the queen now with the bishop, that is. And if there is any g5 afterwards, perhaps you could play queen h6 if really that were to happen, but I kind of doubt it. I really kind of doubt it. I don't think that's gonna happen. f6 might happen, but g5 I don't think so. So really considering bishop g5, and I think that will make it quite something. Yeah, I guess you can play rook fd, but I don't like it very much. Queen's gonna take, knight's gonna take. You're gonna have a peripheral knight on h4. It's not that great. So bishop g5 perhaps. I may be wrong. Bishop g5 looks okay. We'll see. We'll see. So this is Fabi and Hikaru. What do you think Fabi did? He didn't take the bishop. He pushed the pawn. He pushed the pawn on d4 Tims. Pawn goes, attacks the knight. You have to move the knight. He moves knight to h2. And Nakamura attacks the knight. Blimey, if you don't take the bishop now, you're not going to take it. If you don't take the bishop on b6 now, you're not going to take it. So you need to take a decision here. Of course, you could play knight to e3, but hard to say. It's difficult to say. I think I'm still looking to removing that bishop. Just remove the bishop. Like this, they're gonna play this. I'm not sure. And I'm gonna go here. You still need to play the bishop also, so okay, knight takes bishop f4, bishop b3, one of these. It could be some others. That's unexpected. Well, wait a minute. Rook fd, knight b. Yeah, we did highlight all these ideas. Knight to e5, knight attacks the bishop, bishop goes on d2. Okay. Knight goes back. Are they going to make a draw? Oh boy. Is Magnus suggesting to Dingley Wren to make a draw now? Because it's the second time Magnus plays this. Is he actually going to make a draw? Is he real about the draw? This is the second time they do this. Look at this one. So we're talking about this move, knight h5, bishop d2, knight goes back, bishop f4, knight h5. So that'll be now the second time, right? I would go bishop d2. The question is, do you draw here with white? Well, it's not a bad start, but you know, at this level to making a draw, okay. What other option, by the way, what other option does white have apart from bishop d2? Is there anything else you could do here apart from bishop to d2? I mean, something that is good, not just to move something. Isn't knight takes d7? Then queen's gonna have to take. Then you can go bishop d2 again. No, bishop d2 straight away. What's that? Okay, okay. Oh boy. All right. Oh, come on, they're gonna do a draw, right? They're gonna do a draw. Okay, one more time. If bishop f4, knight h5 is gonna be a draw by threefold repetition. Can you believe that? At the very start of the Norway chess, to just do a draw right from the very start. Threefold repetition. Okay, if one more time bishop f4, knight h5, it's a draw. It's just a draw. If you don't want to draw, you need to play something else that's bishop f4. I would assume Magnus wants to go for a draw here. Now, Dingley Wren now can actually choose if he wants to pursue a different outcome than just an immediate draw now. And that means you gotta look at something else. That being knight c3, that being b3, you name it. You gotta do something else if you don't want to draw. And what else can you do here? Well, a3, sure, but that's just, you gotta get your guys active. So now the ball is in Ding's court, so to speak, because Magnus did play it 3 times already. Draw. All right. So Dingley Wren and Magnus Carlsen drew just like that. Threefold repetition. I'm pretty sure the evaluation says it's just 0-0, of course. And I'm curious to see if there would have been some other ideas. Let me just go back quickly. So here, I'm curious to see if any knight c3, b3 could have been some variations in order not to draw. Bishop f4 back as the very decent one. cd, probably knight c3 is not that good because this guy takes. No, they take you first, you take, and then this guy may or may not be taken back. They drew right in the very opening indeed. No other stuff happened, just draw with these two guys. Okay, and yes, how's it going, Underwood? Yeah, draw from the very start. Dingley Rand, Magnus Carlsen, just draw. More exciting is these two guys. And what I was asking our friends, Anirudh, is that if you would consider, he just played it. He just played it. He did, right? Yes. I said it. I said it a few times. I said it a few times to the other 2-3 guys online. I did say bishop g5, and if there is any f6, you're gonna drop bishop back on d2, not back on c1, on d2 that is. I did say bishop g5 here, and that's way more exciting than Dingley Rand and Magnus Carlsen for sure. These two youngsters play more exciting chess than Magnus Carlsen and Dingley Rand. That started with a draw. Yeah. He was very surprising in his choice. It looks like he don't wanna force anything today. He just wanted to take it easy. He wanted to take it easy and get a draw against Dingley Rand. f6 and now bishop d2, guys. Now bishop d2. Right? I mean, you tell me if you think differently. Oops. You tell me if you think differently, but I guess bishop d2 is being required here. I don't think g5 is going to happen. It can't happen. It's not going to happen. Bishop d2. Exactly this move I told them to our friends. Bishop g5, f6, bishop d2. If knight takes, you're going to take back with the bishop, obviously, and that is something. Of course, very optimistic. Rook a to d, rook f to e. What's not to like about Prag's position? From a positional point of view, black king is way more exposed than the white king. So white is doing better currently. Positionally, attacking, psychologically, I think white is totally better than black. It's way too exposed. The f6 move that he played, it's seriously weakening the line squares. So that's something that's going to be very costly for Alireza. That's just something. Rook a d, yeah, definitely better for white. It's better for white. Maybe the engine says it's perfectly fine. And another thing I wrote is that you remember, I think we all remember that Magnus said you're not going to be playing classical chess anymore, right? He said that, right? He did say it. Well, there you go. He actually plays it, this event. And it's very classical. And now going back to your idea, Anirudh, Magnus is weird because probably he doesn't want to play classical like 4 hours, 5 hours. So he just said, you know, let me just have a draw now, and maybe tomorrow I'm going to complicate something. I'm going to be white. Maybe he thinks that the second game, he's going to be white and he's going to be doing something better. So he's happy with the draw with black, saving 3-4 hours of his private personal time. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so positionally, tactically, we definitely seeing here a better chances of attacking for white. Yes, of course we can see Pierre Kremlin game. Yes, of course we can. Of course we can. Event. So let's see. Magnus Carlsen, Ali Reza, Prague. Okay, so these are the guys. Let me go. I need to go and finding the ladies. Hold on a second. Only active games. Ah, okay. All rounds. Classical. Okay, I think I need to leave the page in order to find the Impia Kremlin game. I need to leave the page for this. Right, so as I said, let me just draw a few arrows and then we're going to try finding the Pierre Kremlin game. So rook a to d, rook f to e. I think that's quite cool. And white is doing great. And there is something with this light squares which is seriously problematic for black. So, oh, and the idea to castle short for black, I don't think it works. It's very dangerous to castle short for white. Really dangerous. Okay. Pierre's game then. Okay. That's the draw between Dingley Wren and Magnus Carlsen. Yeah, well, what can we do? Okay, where is that thing with... hold on a sec. Let me move those ones. Norway Chess 2024. Now, let's see. Games. Okay, where is the... all rounds, classical... Okay, where on earth did they put the latest tourney? Round 1 Armageddon. Okay, so they're going to be played later on, right? Okay, I don't know what that thing is. Results, schedule, news. I don't know. Shouldn't be here. Why is it not displayed here then? I'm looking at the Norway chess and I can't find... Our friend Mosen asked about this, but I don't know where that is. Where is it? It should be here, right? I don't see it, I'm sorry. Where did they put it? Schedule, news, so that is live. I'm following the games. They should be here. I'm sorry, my friend, I don't see them. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they are. They should have been here. Event, look at this. All rounds. I can only see now Prague, Alireza, Fabi, Hikaru. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry for this one, but I think chess.com should have just put on the same page, you know, to having access. I'm absolutely super happy to looking at that one, but I can't find it. Yeah, should have been very accessible. I don't know why it's not being displayed here. I don't know. Norway chess event. It doesn't show nothing. I don't see the ladies 20. I don't see it. Sorry about that. Yep. Okay, let's have a look here now. F3. Wait a second. Let me go back to the moves. Yeah, so if you remember, who was that? Tibbs. If you remember Tibbs, I told you that the bishop on b6 has to be removed. This guy, if you don't take it now, you're not going to be taking it. So he did decide to take it off. I think that's a wise thing to do. Get those bishop off the game. Knight takes f3. Okay. Given the fact there is no dark square bishop, I think you can play f3 as an exception. And yeah, the idea being if black takes, you're going to take back knight on, you know, with the knight on f3 and stuff. So, okay. And you open up the e file and things. That's okay. And if there's this happening, I don't know. You go f1. What do you do? I'm not sure. A bit painful for black to playing knight to a7, but I guess if you want to move the bishop on b5 somewhere, probably you have to do it. We'll see about that. We'll see. Bishop may be playing, yeah, but that's not good because it's on the same file with the rook on f, so maybe it's not the wisest ever. Maybe not the wisest. Okay. Whose turn is now to move? It is Hikaru's turn to play. Would you take? Would you do something else? Would you do knight a7? Would you take the pawn? Would you move the queen? And if you move the queen, where do you move the queen? If you want to make a battery here, you place yourself in a pin. If you move here, you're going to put a queen on the e file. Where do you move the queen? Do you move the queen here? Do you think h4 is a better one? No, he took on f3, also opening up the bishop for themselves. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Can't be a bad idea to making your bishop active. Courtesy to Fabi's generosity. So e takes f3, obviously knight takes f3, right? If not knight f3, that means I've completely misunderstood the whole thing. You gotta do this. Queen f3 is completely bad because you're positioning your queen on the same file with the black rook, so you're not going to be doing this. You're going to be playing knight f3. So knight f3, that makes sense. And then if you're really unhappy about the bishop, you may just try this. But also you got to get your own bishop somewhere. I don't know. Bishop e3, bishop f2 perhaps. Maybe bishop e3, queen d2 to make a battery. Maybe. So given this, given a chance, you may wanna work out and engineer some bishop e3, queen d2 battery together, perhaps. And if there is any knight a7, maybe you could just drop it. Depends what happens. Maybe bishop d3 if there is any knight a7. Okay. So that is Hikaru, and this is the most exciting game in between these guys. Dingler and Magnus was completely, uninteresting. Knight takes, bishop takes. Enormous pressure. That's just enormous castles. Let me tell you something. Rook a d1 screams to be played. Rook a d1 very important here. Oh, come on. Yeah. Rook a d1 has to happen. Totally has to happen, rook a d1. Because you put the rook on the same file with the queen. Totally. There is something here. So maybe e3 at some point. White queen stays currently okay where they are. But definitely rook ad. Rook ad is that move you totally want to play it. Absolutely. Hey, that's okay, dude. That's a huge marathon. I'm not sure I'm gonna be covering like 4 hours, but anyway. And thanks for your presence, Simpson. That's okay. So bishop b4 might be something. Rook a d1 might be another thing. Sorry, bishop b4 is completely not playable. a3, no, you don't want to do this. Rook ad, apologies. Rook ad is the move that pins the bishop to the queen. So that one is actually the move. Rook a d1, then queen e7 or something. It could be queen c7. Should you play rook and then the other rook in case queen goes c7? Maybe. Well, we can debate on this one. So if you play rook fd, that would be with the purpose that if queen c7, you play rook a to c in order for you to having both c and d columns under the rook's control, so to speak. So, I don't know, maybe. There is a bit of a weakness here. This guy. That's the weakness for black. Pawn wise, so to speak, in reference with the pawn structure and position, I guess the pawn on e6 is actually the stuff you may want to target. Long term, medium long term, that's the thing for black. Unless they manage to push it and then place a bishop here. Probably. Pushing the pawn, bishop to e6. Maybe. Anyway, if rook fd, you gotta tread carefully about that stuff that we said. Probably rook fd or rook ad. You tell me which one is it, guys. You tell me which rook you think might be going to d or c file. Yeah. Oop. Rook f, d, rook ac. Could be. Queen needs to stay where they are. You shouldn't be moving the queen. Queen is very, very, very well positioned for now. Leave it there. Just rooks. You need to do something with the rooks. Probably that's what we're going to see. Prague's going to do something about the rooks. And he got plenty of time. Like plenty of time. So let's see if Fabi and Hikaru did something actually here. What did the guys do? Oh, he didn't move nothing. Queen? Really? Queen. Queen. I mean, what? Can we just do this? Bishop e4? Sorry guys, what exactly am I missing here? Why would you take with the... what's going on here? Is there something wrong with bishop e4? I really want to know if bishop e4 played by black is a horrible move, or is that a trap that Fabi tries to set up to Hikaru here? Bishop e4 is the first move I would investigate if I had the black pieces here in this position. Bishop e4. Totally bishop e4. Why not? Bishop e4 attacks the queen with two black pieces, pressurizes the g2. I don't know what's the plan for white exactly. I really don't know. Now, I understand it could be something maybe like queen here in order to grab some h6. I understand this, but still. Hello, Vlad. Good to see you, my friend. Trying to give it just some time to this Norway chess coverage. Not sure if 4 hours though, but anyway. And you know what's absolutely surprising? That actually I was thinking knight f3 is the move for white, but Fabi just went with queen. Absolutely crazy. So bishop e4. What do you think, guys? Is bishop e4 the move here, or I'm missing stuff? It's a tacticality here that I don't see. I mean, be honest, wouldn't you guys play bishop e4 here? If this was a bullet or a blitz, I would move bishop e4 in a blink of an eye. Okay, I want to check with the Stockfish if bishop e4 is actually the correct response here, because I think that's the proper response to this. Queen f3. I'm really not sure about queen f3. I absolutely am not sure about this. What is this queen f3 doing here? I don't know. I really want to know this. Bishop e4 is the third line of the engine. Surprisingly, bishop e4, the third line of the engine. The move that I said I would have just played immediately, I said. Apparently the engine favors knight e7. Apparently. Bishop e4, queen g3. I did say queen g3. Knight e7. My God. queen f3, the first line of the engine. Because I'm an average mortal, I would have played knight f3, and I did say knight to f3. I actually discarded completely queen f3, but Fabi saw stuff. I would have played knight f3 here all day. Queen takes. So hold on a second. If bishop e4, you're gonna go g3, I guess, for this kind of stuff, right? So you want to take here potentially. The engine doesn't even bother. There is some king h7, but they don't bother. They go queen d6 to keep an eye on this guy. I understand. Okay, that is intriguing. Okay. Okay. Absolutely surprising. So I saw this, and I saw this as well. But I knew that black can play something. And the fact you're putting a bishop here, I don't know how bad that is. I really don't know how bad that can be. For black, that is. What's wrong to having the bishop here? Is there something wrong? I think it's absolutely great keeping the bishop on e4. Anyway. Knight e7. Probably for c6 and stuff. Okay. We'll see about that. Hikaru has plenty of time. 1 hour 38. Yeah, so he can actually spend here like a good 10-15 minutes to choose carefully what to play next. Yeah, that would have been my choice, but hey. Let's go back to Praganali Reza. So he played rook a to d, which I think I did mention. Rook a to d, because you put your rook on the file where the black queen is. Queen to e7. And now we can debate more stuff. What to do. We can debate. Rook fe, but that's a bit slow-ish. Maybe, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about e2 to e4. You're blocking your bishop. Oopsie, you block your bishop. This, I'm not sure. There's no big weakness about anything. The weakness would be this pawn here. So this guy on e6 would be a pawn that you might want to target, but as soon as they push it, they play this. There's no weakness. There's no weakness, really. This and that, maybe. Maybe knight e2. Knight e2 for knight c4, with the idea to removing the very active dark square black bishop. That could be. Knight d2 to play knight c4, maybe. I would definitely think about this. Definitely. Knight d2, knight c4. You know, open up the bishop. You try to attack the b6 super active black bishop here. So perhaps. I don't know what else. I mean, of course, e3, but e3 to just say you play something. Yeah, I mean, it's good. I don't think e3 is bad. I don't think rook fe1 is fundamentally bad. I don't think knight d2 is so bad. I guess you can think about bishop h3, but I'm not sure. Now, if you want to play something and be on the super safer side, probably e3. I'm not sure. Knight d2, I kind of like it. I like knight d2. I do like it. Knight d2 can go b3 if there is ever any attempt to building up a battery with the bishop. Sorry, with the bishop and the queen, you know, stuff like that. So knight e2 is good, opens up the bishop and relaunches the knight. And now we can debate if it's b3 or if it's c4 or if there's anything else. Yeah. So knight e2, knight c4. If bishop takes and you take, I might be able to play knight here. You can't take it because I'll take your queen. Yeah, well, that's a long stretch here, but regardless. So knight d2, knight c4, maybe. Other than that, I don't know, because the knight doesn't have too many places to go to. It just simply doesn't. I don't know what other development you might have here. I don't know. Okay. So that's how I see it. And for this one here, boy, oh boy. That move that Fabi played, Queen f3, I really think that even Hikaru got a bit surprised. I think the idea was you don't take with the queen, where you put the queen on the rook's file, right? So that's the thing. That's the thing. And wow, Queen f3, that is something. So the whole stuff with bishop e4, you're gonna go queen g3, threatening to take on h6 with the bishop. So queen g3 for this. Yeah, queen to d6 now. Okay. Difficult. Anyway, more exciting than the what Dingler and Magnus played, that's for sure. What else can Prague play here? Now that's the stuff. Rook f8, knight e2, bishop h3. So 1, 2, 3. These are, I think, the main 3 candidate moves. Okay, let's throw the e3, the 4th candidate move. You guys tell me if there is any other candidate move you would consider playing for white here. And then we're going to see if Prague actually goes with that idea. Yeah, so these are the main 4 ideas. A3, Vlad, thank you for your suggestion. I don't think it's a bad one. I don't think it's bad. A3, it's absolutely fine. A3 definitely does not allow any knight b4. That's for sure. So that's for sure. And in case that the black knight moves somewhere, you're going to be playing bishop b4, attacking queen and rook, and you're going to be winning a piece. So from this point of view, Vlad, I tend to say we can definitely introduce a3 as a candidate move. Now, in order of the hierarchy, I'm not sure which one is the strongest. So a3, knight d2. Yeah, knight d2, I think it's my first choice here. If I were to play with white, probably knight d2 I'd consider playing, but I might be wrong. Knight d2, not just because knight c4 and knight b3, knight d2 because I can also play knight e4, and then maybe I can take advantage of the d6, you know, attacking the c8 square, which is important because you're hitting the rook. So a3 does have a purpose though, Vlad. It fixes the knight on c6, because if knight moves, you're going to play potentially bishop b4. Of course, there is bishop c5, but it's just complicated. It's complicated. Knight e2, knight e4, knight e6. I kind of like it. I guess I would go knight e2. From all the pieces and all the shuffling and stuff, knight e2, I think it's quite promising. I mean, promising. It's just something that might do something. Because black doesn't have big weaknesses. The weakness would be this diagonal. But then again, after a move like e5 and bishop e6, I think black fixed the weakness. I mean, that's the solution. That's it. That's about it. Yeah, knight e2. We'll see. We'll see if they actually choose any of these. Let's see, Fabi. Nakamura didn't move nothing here. He didn't move nothing. He still got time though, so he doesn't need to rush it or anything. Actually, these are the moments where if you just launch something based on feelings and stuff, you might be wrong. So you may want to think this one carefully. Yeah, bishop e4 seems to be a move here, but then again, apparently queen g3 and queen d6 then leads to some better position for white. Probably because of the knight g4 that might be played. If bishop e4, then there is also knight g4. So bishop e4, queen g3, queen d6 to stopping h6, and then knight g4. Do you know what that does though? Well, actually, after queen d6 not just defends, they also challenge the queen on g3. So what do you do? Really, what do you do? Bishop e4, queen g3, queen d6. What do you play? Okay, you got this. And I think black is losing. I think black is losing. Crazy, but actually I think he did really calculate this stuff. Look at this, guys. Bishop e4 attacks the queen, right? Queen g3. This is serious. You got to do something about it. If you play queen to d6, no, you can't play bishop f4 because the rook attacks and the queen attack twice on f4. So you can't play bishop f4. You got to do something else. I don't know what yet. Maybe you do take. Maybe you do take. Yes. Maybe you do take the queen and then they take and have double pawns on the d file. Maybe. So again, bishop e4, queen g3, queen d6, queen oops. Again, bishop e4, queen g3, queen d6, queen takes, pawn takes, and black is worse. Is worse. Double pawns on the d file. It's more attackable, more exploitable. So definitely. You got a positional advantage. Better pawn structure, better pawn islands for white, and double pawns on the d file. So they are more attackable. So yeah, I think it's better for white if bishop e4 after queen g3. That might be very well the case. Yes. That might be the case. I don't know what else is here. I don't know what else you could do apart from these. Knight e7 had been suggested. Knight e7. Queen g3. Queen g3. To take on h6. I don't know. Ooh, what's this thing here? Oh, okay. Okay. So say it again, Vlad. What was it? Sorry, bishop e4, queen g3. Sorry, you're talking about what? Knight e7 here. Queen g3. Which one are you talking about? Oh, the h6. Yeah, the h6. Yes. Yes. Totally. Totally. Yeah, there's no wonder actually he does take his time here because it's a delicate position. So the whole problem is this. That's the problem. After bishop e4. So that is the problem. Therefore, white is better here. And Nakamura will have to spend those minutes choosing wisely something to play. And white also enjoys the bishop pair. That's also something important. He does do enjoy the bishop pair. And they look incredibly scary though. And the knight might be coming to g4 at some point. You know, I mean, you got, I mean, after after queen g3, you really set up a very powerful attack. The problem is the h6. So I'm not sure how Hikaru's gonna play this one. I'm not sure how he's gonna play it. That's to be seen. Hey, I said that. I'm happy about this, guys. I think I talked about a couple of minutes about knight d2 as being the most promising move that white can play here, and actually he did play it. So Prague did play knight d2, and I spoke at length, and also I've explained that the pawn on e6 is actually the weakness for black, and black needs to push it forwards, and there you go. He pushed the pawn forwards. So those stuff had been covered, and I'm happy I've actually noticed those ideas. Okay, cool. Now we can think about some other stuff. If you do something like bishop checks here, they're going to be blocking. So I'm not sure. If you take and stuff, it's going to get drawish. So we can think about this one. This one can be played. This one can be played. You name it. Maybe for this. No big weakness here. There's no massive weakness for anybody here. It might be a draw. Might be. I think I would go for knight c4 here. Reason I'd go for knight c4 is because I'd like to remove the bishop on b6, or at least to make them go away or something. So knight c4 definitely I would consider doing here. Knight c4. Either take the bishop or send them away somehow. I'd really do consider playing knight c4. Right. Okay. We got this. Right. So, okay, guys, we're going to have to pause it now. I'm going to have to wrap it up. There's some other stuff I need to be attending for the time being. So I'll try to cover tomorrow the round number 2 and see if we manage to do maybe for a bit longer than today. We'll see about that one. So thanks, Vlad. Thank you, Tims, I think was at some point, and who was here? Anirudh and Simpson. Thank you very much, guys. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you probably with the round number 2 tomorrow for a while. Thank you, fellas. Take care.